Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation and happy Purple Thursday. I hope everyone remembered to wear their purple in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month and to honor victims and survivors of abuse today. So just welcome today. My name is Ashley Rumschlag. I'm the VP of Digital Services at Teresa's Fund and domesticshelters.org. I'm joined by Rachel Myers, who is our Digital Services Specialist. And she's going to be presenting with me today. We also have Hannah Craig, who is our Senior Content Strategist and Creator, and she's going to be monitoring the chat and the Q&A today. So just a few housekeeping items before we get started. Just a reminder, we do have live closed captions available. And in order to turn those on, select More in the toolbar and show subtitles. And a transcript will also be available within 1 week of the presentation. Just a reminder, you are in listen-only mode, and questions can be put in the Q&A box. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please put those there. And then the chat box can be used to communicate between attendees. Let us know if something's going on with the webinar, and we will help you as best we can. And then just a reminder that a certificate, transcript, recording, and any additional resources we've referenced today will be emailed to everyone within a week of the presentation. And just some quick reminders. I'm certain everyone here is familiar with domesticshelters.org, but just a reminder that we do have that searchable database. So if you need help looking for referrals, that's the place to go. And we also have a library of shareable content. So throughout Domestic Violence Awareness Month and throughout the year, if you need some content to share to kind of support the different ideas and information you want to share, just pull articles, share them on social, share them via email. The more we can get that information out, the better. We also hosted our Purple Ribbon Awards for the first time this year. And so just a reminder that we will open up nominations again, January 1st, and we'll do that all over again. And then we have a Facebook group. So if you're looking to connect with advocates, you can connect with them in the Facebook advocate group. And we'll drop a link to that in the chat box. And also the last piece, the thing we're going to focus on today, we offer free wish lists for US-based programs. And we'll go into more detail on what that looks like. All right. So many of you have tuned into our webinars before, and you know that we typically work with an outside organization to present on a specific topic. But kind of as a group, we were thinking, well, what is that one thing that we can present on, or what is one of the things that we can present on? What are we experts at? And one of the things I'm really passionate about is helping programs, in domestic violence programs and shelters get donations. And through that is our wish list program. So we wanted to present on it. We wanted to make sure everyone knew that this resource is out there, that it's free, and that everyone can take advantage of that. And also we're getting into the busy year-end giving season. So we wanted to make sure everyone was prepared, had their wish list ready to go, give you easy ways to just share that out. That way you can increase your donations throughout the year-end giving season. So what we'll talk about today. So what is the wish list program? How do you get started? All of those things. So how do you set up your wish list on domesticshelters.org? And then we'll also talk about tips for how to boost in-kind donations in general. This is a video that you can actually share. It's available on our website. As you kind of look for ways to promote your website, you can pull this video, share it with your donors, share it on social media. It kind of just gives an overview of the program. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and hit play.
Giving goods and critically needed items to domestic violence shelters just got a lot easier. In fact, it's now just as easy as buying anything online. Until now, giving items like food, clothing, and other necessities was harder than it should be. You had to find out what items a shelter needed, go to the store and purchase the item, contact your favorite shelter again to coordinate a drop-off to a secure private location, and then set aside time from your busy day to go across town and deliver your gifts. Phew, that's a lot of work. Of course, it was well worth it, but now, shelters using the domesticshelters.org wishlist platform make giving much easier. Just visit your shelter's wishlist on domesticshelters.org. Select the items from your shelter's online store. Enter your information, and if you like, a personal message to the shelter. When you check out, your items will be delivered automatically to your shelter. That's it. What once took a few hours, you can now tackle in just seconds. You save time, your shelter saves time. Your gifts are assured of being exactly the items your shelter has specified it needs. It's tax deductible. And best of all, you help domestic violence programs and victims and survivors create a brighter future. Now the next step is up to you. Your local domestic violence shelter needs you. Imagine running a business where the services you provided were offered for free. That's why making ends meet is a daily struggle for shelters, and why your gift today is so critical. Can we count on you to send critically needed items today? It's easy, it's impactful, and it'll make you feel wonderful.
So that's a video, like I said, you can share with your donors and let them know how the program works. All right, so I wanted to go over just the why. It's obviously we've kind of put a compelling kind of case together in that video there, but just want to go over kind of the highlights of why it's so important to set up the wish list and kind of the problems that we were trying to solve when we created this platform. So one of the things is you don't have to update your paper lists. I know that it can be very time consuming to have to, create something in a Word doc and put it in a PDF and upload it to the website, all of that. So all of that updates automatically as things are purchased. They are removed from your wish list. You're notified of that, so you can add it back on if you need more still. You get exactly what you need. So you can put on that you need a specific kind of, bed sheet. Maybe you have a specific need on a dimensions there. So you can put exactly what you need, and that's what the person will purchase. Not only do shelters tend to appreciate this, but donors do as well, because they don't want to, donate something and then, not know if it's going to be exactly what is needed. You can also set quantities. We talked about that. But that avoids getting too much. So I always use the example of getting 3 years worth supply of mayonnaise. If everyone decides that they're going to donate that item off of your list, you're going to end up with more than you can use. So to be able to know that once an item is purchased, it's removed or the quantity is lowered, and you don't get too much of something. It's also one centralized place for in-kind giving. So you can just send people to one place and they're able to see what you need and actually make the purchases online. You can add and remove items quickly. Again, back to the, keeping that wish list up to date. Also, tax documentation is automatically provided to the donor, so you don't have to do anything extra. That is automatically emailed to them. You also get to see a dashboard, which we'll show you a little bit later, to see how many donations have been made and by who, how many items, things of that nature. So you can keep track of that, because I know donors love to hear that, board members love to hear that, your team leaders love to hear how well you're doing in donations. And the donations arrive to your preferred delivery location. So wherever you're safely able to receive and accept donations and deliveries, that's where you'll be able to set that address up for. So I'm going to go ahead and actually stop my screen share and share a different screen. And what I'm going to show you is actually a video that you don't see the word Amazon on the platform, but we couldn't do it without them. So we use their inventory of products, their logistic operations, and tech solutions. And we've worked closely with the Amazon team to integrate into the back end to deliver a seamless donation experience for programs and donors alike. So Amazon recently highlighted the Wishlist program and platform in a webinar created for nonprofits across the country, across the globe, to encourage them to build similar products to drive donations for other causes. So Andrew, who is the head of nonprofits and global NGOs for Amazon, is going to show you in this webinar from his perspective what the donors see. So let me go ahead and switch over my screen here. All right, take it away, Andrew.
In short, if you have a wish list that looks like this, we can turn it into this, where actual products are available for purchase from your website. I just wanted to reiterate how we work with Teresa's fund, which operates domesticshelters.org, the largest website dedicated to providing information that helps survivors of domestic abuse to get to safety as quickly as possible. The donor arrives, here on the left you can see that they arrive on their website, enters their zip code, selects one of dozens of nearby shelters, browses, and loads a cart with the items that they need, as you can see on the right. From there, the donor enters simple personal and payment information. They can add an optional cash donation, write a message to the nonprofit, and make the donation, which is sent to your Amazon business account for purchase and delivery. Domestic shelters love this feature. Their executive director told us that within the first week of using Donation Driver, they received over $700 worth of donated items. What a great use of technology to help this deserving organization. For more info on them, you can visit domesticshelters.org.
Okay, so and some of you may be thinking, so what is the difference then between the actual Amazon wish list? So, going in and setting up an Amazon wish list like you would for a wedding registry or a baby registry, things like that. And so we just wanted to lay out some of the kind of differences between the two platforms. So the difference is, the donor information is shared in your personal domesticshelters.org dashboard. So you have the ability to see donor information there. There is no need to give out a personal information or address. You do manage that in the back end of domesticshelters.org with your preferred receiving address. And that obviously information is encrypted and completely confidential, not shared anywhere else. You get to be seen by more potential donors. So because you are on a domestic violence specific website, traffic and people visiting the website are interested in the cause. So when they find the Wishlist platform, they go ahead, they're going to be more inclined to make donations, and they can actually find your organization, even if they hadn't heard of it before. When products go out of stock on a normal Amazon wish list, it would just be unavailable. But thanks to Rachel on our team, she is constantly making sure that any items that are not in stock, she's either finding the exact same item with a different supplier, or she's adding a very similar item to the inventory, and that automatically updates on your wish list. So you don't have to worry about things becoming unavailable. This was especially important during the pandemic, as things, the supply chain and everything was a little bit backed up. So we were having issues getting specific items. So Rachel was busy trying to make sure that items were always available as the increased donations were coming through. Also, you get notified when purchases are made. So you'll get an email, you'll get a tracking number in that email. So it makes it very simple to kind of see what's being donated, what's coming in, and track its shipment. Coming soon, I mentioned we've been working with Amazon very closely. And one of the things that we're doing is integrating more with their business platform. And what that's going to allow is us to actually take advantage of some of the better inventory, better pricing. And so that is in the works right now. And then also just a reminder of who is eligible to set up a wish list. So anyone that is in our searchable database has an account with domesticshelters.org. And as long as they're located in the United States, then you're able to set up a wish list. So we'd love to be able to offer this for Canada, but unfortunately, there are some logistical issues. It's something that we're certainly always looking into and trying to figure out how we can make that happen. But currently, we're only offering wish lists for US-based shelters. All right, so with that, I'm actually going to turn over to Rachel Myers, who I mentioned is our digital services specialist and our expert for all things wish lists. So Rachel, go ahead and take it away. She's going to show you how to actually set up and manage your wish list.
Yes, thank you, Ashley. Hello, everyone. I'm going to show you a step-by-step tutorial on how to set up your wish list. Step 1, log in to your account at domesticshelters.org. If you forgot your login, you can email us at info@domesticshelters.org. And please note, in order to log in, you have to have claimed your organization's listings. If you've not done this previously, you can claim your listing at this link, and then we'll also drop it in the chat. Step 2, click My Organizations. Step 3, click Wish List. Step 4, click here to add the address where you would like wish list donations delivered. To ensure delivery, provide an address that is accessible during business hours and do not use a PO box address. You can't turn a wish list on without providing a receiving address. This address is never made public and is used only to share with delivery services for the purpose of making deliveries. Step 5, click Add Items to My Wish List. When you do, you'll be presented with a catalog of items to add to your wish list. Step 6, select items by clicking the Add button or the Options button plus the Add button. Products with an Options button have size, color, or packing variations. And there's a couple notes. You can use a search box to more easily find products you need, or find products by type by using the category dropdown. The numbers at the bottom indicate the presence of multiple pages of products. To see more products on a page, use the results display dropdown. If you want to recommend a product to add to our catalog, you can see the little gray box and it will email us a suggestion. When you close this window, the products you added will be added to your wish list. Step 7, turn your wish list on using the slider. This means your wish list is now publicly visible on domesticshelters.org. Step 8, set the desired quantity of each item on your wish list. Each time a donation is made, the system will reduce the quantity. When it reaches 0, it is no longer viewable publicly and will notify you via email in case you would like to add more quantities to the item. You'll see 2 buttons next to the items on your wish list. The left button allows you to turn products on or off, and the right button allows you to mark any item as urgently needed. Step 9. Once your wish list is turned on, click View My Wish List to see what it looks like publicly. If you want to make edits, just close the View My Wish List window and continue editing your wish list. Step 10. Now it's time to market your wish list and drive donations. Later in the webinar, we will go over how to supercharge your wish list. This will give you simple ideas on how to succeed, including how to add your new wish list to your own website, in addition to domesticshelters.org. After your wish list is published and you start receiving donations, you can view stats on your wish list and can be sorted by lifetime, last year, last 90 days, and last 30 days. We'll show how many donations, how many items, and the value. Click View Donations to see donor contact information and messages. Donors do have the option to remain anonymous. In this case, they'll still be notified, but no name or contact information will be provided to you. Your listing on domesticshelters.org will now include the yellow wish list icon, which links to your wish list. Here you see a sample wish list in public view where people can view items, purchase items, provide a credit card, check out, and have their gifts delivered automatically to your receiving address. And last, anytime someone purchases from your wish list, you'll receive an email from us indicating when those items will ship, including tracking information. And that's it. It's that easy to set up a wish list. Now I'm going to hand things back over to Ashley.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. That was very helpful. While you were sharing that information, I actually went ahead and looked at who was in attendance today and kind of randomly assigned a number to everyone that had a wish list and selected one lucky shelter we're going to actually do a live demo. So I want to be able to have everyone see what the donors see. So I'll go ahead and actually share my screen. We are going to donate $100 worth of wish list items to Willow Tree of Posey County. So thanks, Beth, for attending today. We're just so happy to know that you have a wish list set up, and hopefully you're going to learn something today that's going to help you to promote it, better refine it, and make sure that you are getting the most out of the platform. So as you see here, this is what a wish list page looks like. So everyone's going to get their own unique URL, and you can get that by just kind of grabbing the URL out of the URL bar. And that's kind of what you would share with your donors, and it'll take them right to this page. So you'll see here, they have some shampoo, razors, socks, underwear, all these different things that they need. If they were to have marked them as urgent, there would be a little orange urgent notification on there, so people would know that those are the items that they need most of. So go ahead and let's pick out a few things here. We're going to go ahead and send them some paper towels. So we'll add this on here, add that to our cart. I'm going to stick with kind of basic need items here, like our razors. And let's see if they have, so this is just a good reminder of why you want to set quantities on this. I'd imagine that they need more than just one package of razors, but right now it's only set to one. May just be that a lot of purchases have been made on this item, and it's down to just one. So we can add one at this time, and we're at about $84 here. Let's see, find something around. Let's go ahead and we'll do the socks here. If there were any different options for colors or sizes, that would appear here. For this specific item, there's only one option. So here we are. So we're right around $100. And we're going to go ahead and proceed to checkout. Now, if someone were to start a wish list purchase on domesticshelters.org and walk away, this view cart button on the right-hand side, that big orange button, is going to kind of follow them around. So they're going to be reminded that they had started making a purchase and go back and hopefully complete that. So it does take a few moments to load here because of what we kind of have set up on the back end. So it's actually, connecting with Amazon, checking inventory, making sure that that's going to be available for to be sent to you. It's doing a lot of thinking there. So it just takes a moment to do so. I'm going to walk you through the fields and then I'm going to unshare my screen so that I can enter in the credit card information. And then I'll complete the purchase because I want to show you what donors will see once we wrap up. So obviously we ask for their first name, last name, email address. They can check a box to be added to, or to have the email address shared. So of course you can send the thank you, but then you can also add them to your donor mailing list. And then of course, just like you would see on any online shopping experience, you're going to see information for their credit card. We do give them the option to make a donation to domesticshelters.org if they like. You can certainly, obviously they're not required to do so. And then they can also add a little message here. So let's just write in, thank you for all the amazing work you do. And they can type in whatever they'd like there. So you kind of see that. So I'm going to go ahead and unshare my screen. Okay, and with that, I'll go ahead and reshare my screen. Okay, so you can see here, this is what a donor is going to see at the very end. So it's going to say, thank you for donation, get a donation order number, and that you'll receive confirmation. If they click this print donation receipt, they can print out that specific donation receipt, but they'll also receive it via email. So they don't have to remember to do it then. And one of the things that we added here is this make another wish list donation. So another reason why everyone should have their wish list set up is because you just never know what zip code is going to be typed in here, and making sure that you're in the database and you're available for people to donate to. All right, so now I'm going to turn it back over to Rachel, and she's going to talk about how to promote your wish list.
Yes, so
Thank you.
thank you. So now I'm going to share some tips for supercharging your wish list. These ideas will help you generate donations with your domesticshelters.org wish list. Obviously, the first tip is create your wish list, and we've already went over this. Tip number 2 is include a wide selection of items. Make sure you have items across all price ranges and categories to appeal to a wide selection of donor interests. A donor who is a parent may be more inclined to donate items related to children, while a donor who was once homeless may think that giving clothing or food is more important. Tip number 3, add a link to your website. Each wish list has its own unique website address that can direct people to make a purchase. Something this simple can really make a difference when people are compelled to give, and this will make sure that they know exactly how to do so. And bonus points for getting community partners to add your wish list to their sites. Tip number 4, announce your wish list. Don't keep it a secret. Tell everyone and anyone about this new and easy way to give. Tip number 5, add a link to existing printed materials or create a simple flyer. Add a QR code to make it even easier. A QR code looks like this, the little square to the left, and allows donors to use their smartphone camera to scan the code and get directed to your wish list to make a purchase. If you're not sure how to create a QR code, we can help. You can just email us at info@domesticshelters.org. Tip number 6, send an email to your supporters. Each month, consider emailing your donors an email highlighting a critical need item on your wish list. Make giving easy with embedded email links that take readers directly to your wish list page on domesticshelters.org. And here's a super tip. You can ask your employees and board members to forward your email to their friends and contacts, along with a personal note to expand your messages distribution. Tip number 7, post on social media. We'll be sharing some sample social media posts at the end of this presentation to help you with your Giving Tuesday appeals. Tip number 8, timing is important. Think about the time of day and day of the week when sending wishlist emails and making social posts. Capitalize on holidays and occasions when giving is stronger, like personal care items and Mother's Day and children's toys before the holiday season. Also consider Women's History Month, International Women's Day, Earth Day, Valentine's and Mother's Day, Memorial, Labor, and Independence Day, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Thanksgiving and Giving Tuesday, December holidays, and December 31st tax giving deadline. And yes, gifts are tax deductible for your donors. Tip number 9, add wish list to email signatures. Think about how many emails you and your team send every day. That's a lot of opportunities for people to check out and support your wish list. Tip number 10, tell stories. According to Network to Give, being emotionally moved by a story is the number 2 reason people give. Stories pique interest, bring energy to a message, impact how we think, and are more likely to cause people to take action. When it comes time to writing an email or making a social media post, consider telling a powerful story about how donations will specifically impact a person or group of people within your organization. It's always great to make it personal. Tip number 11, engage smartphones. Just about everyone carries a smartphone. Purchases for your wish list items can be made over mobile devices, which means that public presentations, galas, board meetings, and other professional gatherings are an ideal place to challenge your supporters to give. Another super tip, pick a category on your wish list, let's say like household goods, and challenge event participants to pull out their smartphones, visit your wish list, and collectively fulfill all the items needed in the category. And last is connect the dots. Above all, where possible, don't forget to let your audience see and hear about the impact of their wish list gifts by sharing stories, testimonials, and images of their generosity in action. And now Ashley is going to share what domesticshelters.org is doing to help.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. So wanting to go over, obviously, Rachel sharing tips for once you have that wish list set up to make sure that you get donations. One of the main things that we ask people to do is to share the wish list, because that is the best way to be successful. But on the back end, we're doing a lot of things to help encourage people to give donations via wish list. And we're also, sending people that way to make sure that they're giving donations. So one of the first things that we do is we actually have partnerships with businesses. For example, Thread Talk, which is a company that sells the most amazing soft cuddly blankets. And they actually give 10% of every sale to purchase domesticshelters.org wishlist items. So every quarter, we work with them to go into whoever has a wish list set up and purchase items. Maybe some people on the call today have been recipients of those gifts, but this is one of the ways that we encourage people to give and find ways to get more wish list items in the hands of shelters. The next one is that we actually help with corporate fundraisers. So for example, just right now throughout the Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Sodexo, which you may recognize as a hospitality company, they kind of do concessions and other things like that. A division of their company is actually running a fundraiser right now where they're encouraging all of their employees to visit domesticshelters.org. We've actually hand selected specific shelters based on locations that they are operating in, and they can go in and make donations to wish lists. So we have a lot of inquiries to those types of fundraisers, and so we are just trying to promote that program with corporations and get those up and running so we can increase the number of people who are donating to wish lists. And the last piece of the puzzle is growing traffic to the website. I've got a little graph here on the next slide. And this is something that's just kind of blown us away. So one of the main ways that people find wish lists outside of specific shelters sharing them with their donors is by searching for terms like, how can I donate to a domestic violence shelter program? And one of the first places that comes up is our wish list program. And so you'll see here, that big jump in the chart is lining up with October 1st and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So people are wanting to give, and where are they coming? They're coming to the domesticshelters.org, and with their checkbooks and wallets open, ready to give. And so we've seen a massive increase in wish list donations this month. We've beat our record for the best month ever. Right now, what is this? We're only 21 days into the month, and we have already beat our record for the best month by over $2,000. So we are doing our best to make sure that people who want to give and are ready to give are finding the wish list platform, and it's all just a matter of making sure that you're there, making sure that you have items on your list that is up to date, and we try to make that part as easy as possible. All right, and the last piece is, how are we helping? We're doing whatever we can to help. If you have, we want to brainstorm ways to improve your wish list. If you want to do a one-on-one training on how to get things set up, if you have ideas for making the program better, maybe there's a problem that you're having that we're not addressing with this platform, please just let us know. We're going to always do our best to make it as easy as possible for you all to get donations, because without the amazing work that you're doing, working directly with survivors, the world will just not be as great of a place. So we're just so grateful for the work that you're doing, and we want to do whatever we can do to support you all. So before, let's see. Oh, and just one more side note. I just want to mention, a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually put a link to your cash donation landing page, whatever that looks like for you, whether that's a specific page on your website or a specific donation tool. You can actually put a link to that on your location page. So by location page, I mean that page that people see when they're using their searchable database and they find your organization. You can actually, like I said, put a donation link there. It will be live. People can click it. So, it's just another way that we try to support shelters, because we know a lot of people see those pages. We get over 2 million visits to our website every year. And a lot of people are using that searchable database tool, seeing sites. We know that it's also, victims and survivors who are looking for help, ready to make that call to reach out to you. But we also hear from a lot of donors. We get emails on a daily basis from people. How do I donate to a shelter near me? How do I do this? And we send them right to the Wishlist tool. And that's where, we tell them to go to make those purchases. We also send them to our searchable database to just find and connect with a shelter, because sometimes they're not looking to give items. Maybe they're looking to give cash, or they're looking to give their time. And so what we do is we send them to the searchable database tool and the Wishlist database. So that way people can find you and give, and just kind of, learn more about the things that you do. So before we wrap up and do some Q&A, and I know we're going to be way ahead of schedule. I know we set aside 90 minutes for today. Depending on the number of questions, we'll probably wrap up here in about the next 20 minutes or so. But before we go over to questions, and encourage you to put those in the Q&A if you have any, I just want to share something that Rachel put together. We are going to send everyone a Giving Tuesday toolkit. So this is designed to help you promote your wish list. We've got text, so you can just copy and paste, add your organization, add your link to this text, and you can accompany these images with it. And so, we just want to make it as easy as possible for you to send people to your wish list tool, so that way you can get the items that you need. So we'll be sending that along with the recording and transcript and certificate, all of that good stuff. So with that, let's go ahead and open up for questions. Rachel, if you want to join me on here, I'll walk through. I know Hannah's organizing these for us very nicely. Let's see. So the question that I'm seeing here, I'll go ahead and answer this one. Can domestic violence agencies participate that do not have a shelter? So for the most part, the answer to this is yes. As long as you are qualified to be into our searchable database and provide some sort of direct service, that's kind of the main piece. But we do encourage you, if you want to reach out to us directly at info@domesticshelters.org, we'll take a personal look at your organization, see if you should be in the database if you're not already in there. But like I said, if you're in the database, and even if you don't have a shelter, maybe you just need items to support, your office operations, and you're still providing direct services, the Wishlist tool is certainly available for that. So again, just info@domesticshelters.org is the best place to connect with us there. Let's see. Okay, so one of the questions here is it possible to list an item like a coat, for example, without a general description, like women's coat, size medium, without choosing a specific coat for the donor to purchase? That would allow the donor to choose themselves. So that's actually not an option, but it's something we hadn't thought about before. So we're looking, working specifically with an Amazon, inventory. We're selecting specific items to kind of make sure that exactly the items you pick out. But that is a great idea, because there's a lot of people that maybe have specific coats in mind, something, that they really like, fashionable choices there. But that's a really great idea. So we'll definitely take that in mind, and take note of that, and see if that's something that we should expand upon. Next question is, do I need to send my donors proof of their donation for tax purposes? Rachel, can you answer that one?
Yes, so no, you do not. You email donors proof of donations. You don't have to do anything. They'll automatically get an email from us for tax purposes.
Fantastic. And that has the amount probably, and the donation amount, the date it was given,
Correct.
all in there, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so the next question is, how much information will we receive about the donor? So Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they would just get the first name, last name, and an email address.
Correct.
Perfect. Yeah, so you'll get that information there so you can reach out. We do not collect a mailing address for them. All right. And next question. Can I have multiple logins for an organization? So no, the answer is no. Yes and no, I guess I'll say. So you have one login for the platform. So if the executive director is the person that claimed the organization, they will have a specific login. And then for the wish list, you don't have a separate login, but you have a separate, you can put a separate contact person. So if the executive director is the person that goes in and manages the listing, but there's a donation manager that donates or manages the wish list program, they can get the notifications every time they get a donation and every time that they need to update quantities, instead of that going to the executive director. So you just set that up in the dashboard by selecting, kind of who the receiving address is and receiving person is. And then for that instance, what we suggest is just using a login and password that those people share to get in there, because the access will be the same. All right. And a question here, I think Rachel could answer this one best. How do I know when an order is on its way? Will the arriving box be marked in any way?
So once it ships, we will email you tracking information, and that email will say the item along with the tracking number. And then the box, it just looks like a typical Amazon packaging. Nothing special. So it just looked like an everyday Amazon order.
Yeah. You're good. And so they can kind of check in, they'll have their dashboard. They'll say, okay, well, this person donated, socks and underwear. So I'll know that, this person's order had arrived. It's time to thank them for their donation. Yes. And one thing I don't think we really mentioned is, we are on the Prime kind of account, when it comes to delivery time. So things are supposed to deliver within 2 to 3 days. So once these donations are made, you receive the products very quickly. So just keep that in mind, that, the donation turnaround time is very quick. All right. Rachel, another question for you then. How can I see who donated?
So you can view that in your dashboard. So domesticshelters.org, it will actually have your dashboard, and you can click on view all my donations, and it'll pull up all of your donations.
Good.
That's, again, you'll get the email address from them and the first and last name.
Yeah. Perfect. One question, a great question. One of the questions that we get kind of most often, which is, what does domesticshelters.org get out of this program? So we do charge a handling fee of around 11%, depending on the purchases. And this kind of just helps to cover the cost of operating the program, and develop the program and keep it up and running. So that doesn't actually cover our costs. So there is a funding gap, but it's something that Teresa's Fund and just domesticshelters.org is really passionate about. And we know that individual programs would not have the resources to set this program up on their own. And so that's kind of one of the things that we try to bring to the table, are kind of using our resources and using our organization to create these kinds of tools that everyone can use and everyone can take advantage of. So that's kind of why we do it, and what we have invested in it. And let's see. That's a great question. Is there a cost to our organization for using your platform? No, that's completely free. We don't charge anything to shelters to be able to use the platform. Like I said, it's something that we know that organizations couldn't do on their own and that we can't do. So we can make that happen for everyone so that they have access to this tool to drive donations. And, we do not charge anything. There's nothing on domesticshelters.org that costs anything. I know some of you that are familiar with domesticshelters.org from very beginning times. We did have some upgraded features for listings, but we discontinued those a few years back in lieu of just being there to support shelters any way we can, and providing as much free tools and resources as we possibly can. And I think that's actually all the questions. I think we answered that last one, Hannah. So yes, so the 11%, it is on each order. So it's the handling line. If you notice that on the live demonstration there, you saw a fee for handling, and that's going to go basically whatever the cost of the items are. And then we add that amount to the total. And that's what the final amount is that is charged to the donor. I think that answer that is included in the cost. Yeah, so I think I answered all parts of that question. Okay, everyone, just a few moments. If there's any other questions that people have, I'll just say that very thankful for everyone tuning in today. Working with domesticshelters.org is a complete joy. I love getting to interact with people who are doing the direct services, helping victims and survivors every day. So to be able to be joined by everyone today and to share this information with you is just an absolute delight. And thank you, Rachel. She pulled up our contact information there. So we've said over and over again, just info@domesticshelters.org, but that's the best place to reach us. We also are all over social media. You'll probably notice us most popularly on Facebook. We share a lot of content there to help let people know about different aspects of domestic violence. We're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'll give a final shout out, just a final favor, I guess I'll ask is everyone on today, if you would please go and follow us on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. We are just so close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and we have been really pushing, hoping to get to that here in the next few weeks. So that's my one ask for everyone, beyond getting your wish list set up and getting ready for the final giving season. So I haven't seen any other questions come in. I appreciate the thank yous and everything in the chat. We really appreciate you being here today. And Rachel, anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, just everyone have a good Purple Thursday.
Yes. Happy Purple Thursday to everyone. Great. So just a quick reminder that the webinar recording, slides, transcript, certificate of attendance, and any shared resources will be emailed to everyone who logged in within a week. If you're a call-in listener, please email us at info@domesticshelters.org to let us know where we should email the materials. And I have to comment on the dogs barking right now because I know everyone can hear it. But ironically, the Amazon man just passed.
There you go.
Perfect timing right at the end of the presentation. So I think the dogs are saying it's time to wrap up. But thanks everyone for joining us today, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.